Welcome back to Radio Entrepreneurs. I'm Jonathan Freedman, and next up we have a pair of entrepreneurs, co-founder and CEO of BinStar, Jack Laughlin, and co-founder and head of supply, Ben Starr. Welcome to Radio Entrepreneurs, guys.
Thanks so much for having us, Jonathan. Really appreciate it.
So, Jack, do you want to give us a little background? Your company is relatively new and quite innovative. Tell us about the genesis of the idea and what it is, what BinStar does.
Yeah, so we work with suppliers to make returns disappear, and we do this through a really novel and fun and gamified retail experience based here in Metro Boston. Returns are a huge problem in retail, and it's kind of wild, but about 10% of the U.S. retail inventory actually gets thrown away as a return every year, and we're building the solution to that can be the scalable partner for brands and retailers and logistics companies to take in returns and make them disappear. We like to say we're the friendly neighborhood black hole for returns.
So that's really incredible. 10% must be an enormous figure. I understand that most retailers find it complicated to get product back into inventory. If I understand correctly, it's often less expensive for them to toss it or dispose of it in some way rather than restock it. Enter you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So is it a function of and maybe Ben, this question is for you. How do you guys make the determination of what ends up on your in your bins? I guess you don't have traditional store shelves, but what ends up in your bins?
Yeah, I mean, so we buy a variety of goods. I mean, the bulk of our purchases are truckloads of mixed returns from various platforms, and what we end up buying is a truck that might have 5,000 items and 4,900 SKUs. So it's very, very diversified. And how we make the decision, it's not incredibly precise. So I'm not saying, ooh, I want 17 toasters today. It's the exact opposite. We're trying to buy a wide range of goods as cheaply as possible. Our goal is to get high quality, and Jack can kind of give you more detail on this, but those returns that come back, the vast majority of them are in brand new condition. So sometimes you might think that these are damaged or heavily worn items. They're not. But really, we're trying to buy things as cheaply as possible, but maintain incredibly high quality, incredibly high diversity. So our customers, that search experience, that the treasure hunt experience that our customers love and come in for, what they want to see is just a lot of different stuff. And that's what I spend my time doing on a daily basis. Is finding as many different things that we can at as steep a discount as possible.
So just curious about the logistics of that. Is it, or perhaps not logistics, but a pricing question. So if a manufacturer is disposing of product, obviously there's a cost. So a retailer or distributor in some cases perhaps is disposing of product. There's typically a cost associated with that for them.
I'll start with this, and Jack, maybe you got more. But there's a cost to hold it in a warehouse. 3PLs, third-party logistics warehouses are expensive. Shipping back from a retail store if it was returned, or shipping back from one warehouse to another is expensive. And the cost to process those goods to check that they're damaged is expensive. So sometimes inventory actually, so it becomes a very low percentage of retail price where we end up buying it. But it's actually, some goods that are truly unwanted, the price technically could be negative, meaning someone have to pay me to buy that inventory for BinStar.
And so you guys different than perhaps some of the traditional low cost or off price discounters who do exist. You typically, and this is just a presumption on my part, you may get something once and have it once only. You're not necessarily getting the same product again. You can't restock necessarily. So I guess the message to your consumer is come in and check it out because it might not be here again.
Yeah.
Interesting. So how did you guys develop the concept? I mean, obviously, you saw the need in the marketplace. What made you decide that retail was the way to go? Jack, you're muted.
Apologies. Going through the genesis here, I think is interesting. So Ben and I met when we were both working at JP Morgan together in New York, and stayed in touch as close friends and investment idea nerds over the years. Fast forwarding a few jobs later, I'm at a large e-commerce seller based here in Boston, and I get assigned the project of dealing with returns. And I think I approached returns working for this e-commerce seller, how certainly a lot of our customers and even some of the suppliers we work with at different brands and retailers approach returns as, what do you mean returns? And my thought was that, well, if retailers and platforms and brands are offering 30, 60, 90, even 365-day or lifetime returns, that means that they've figured it out. And found pretty quickly that not only has it not really been figured out from a sustainability and financial perspective, but the ways that brands have to deal with returns today are not very friendly to them. And so when I was looking at this problem, we were sending about 8% of our inventory to the landfill, just as a cost of doing business. And to your point earlier, paying a considerable sum on a per item basis to do that. And this is, I think, sort of when the wheels started turning and started having a bunch of phone calls with Ben. And I'm glad that we are now in the era of no one has cell phone minutes, because we must have spent hundreds of hours on the phone together, sort of the fall of 2021 going into the spring of 22, talking through, I think there's an opportunity to really build a business here that could be a real solution to the problem I was facing, which is throwing away close to 10% of my inventory, knowing that most of it is nothing wrong with it. And so as we were looking at how do you actually solve this problem, there's sort of, I think, the more obvious idea of adding software or technology or online marketplaces to this. But to Ben's point earlier on this having a cost that is actually negative to some brands, retailers and brands like where I was working, there's no margin dollars left to spend more money on software. And my task was to make the returns go away, not to build a team around managing our returns with 5, 6 employees and headcount and all of this. The task was to make it go away. And so we saw an opportunity to do that with this unique, high value, low cost, and critically high turnover retail concept that could actually be a local partner for the brands and retailers we work with, so that if, say, a return exists in Boston, our vision is that as we get larger, the returns that exist in Boston are sold through our stores across Boston and never get shipped back, potentially even cross country, to be handled, processed, repackaged, and then shipped again, because the cost structure just isn't there for most items.
So really keeping goods as local as possible through the entire life cycle.
Correct. And the best and lowest cost way to do that is actually through building a purpose-built brick and mortar retailer, which is kind of funny, but that's the business here.
So you guys have you had a launch back in 2022 of your first location. Is that correct? 2023?
So our first store opened in June of 2023. So a few weeks ago last year.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been the year has gone by very quickly, and it's been a lot of fun. I think Ben and I have had a lot of fun learning from our customers, seeing what they interact with this product that we've built in bricks and mortar. And it's every day you get to deliver crazy low prices on products that customers didn't know they wanted until they walked in the doors. So it's a really special privilege to be able to serve our customers.
I mean, it must be an incredibly, either prescient or luck would have it in terms of, as the economy has struggled a little bit or people have struggled and who doesn't like to buy something, right? Retail therapy is a wonderful thing. But you guys are entering the market with, find and perhaps don't use the term bargain, but really find a bargain availability and maybe a confluence of things. I know there was, a very large entity in the Massachusetts area that went out of business several years ago. So maybe you guys are filling a void in terms of demand. But I would imagine that confluence is a great time for you because people want to purchase things and don't have the funds necessarily or the means to do it. I think it's become perhaps a little more cachet to be a bargain hunter today. So kudos to you guys for aligning all the stars and it seems like the timing is fortuitous. How many locations do you have on the drawing board, and what's the if you can share with us, what's the rollout plan?
Yeah, so and thank you for the kind words. I appreciate it. So we have 3 stores open today. So the second store opened in Boston proper in March of 24. And our third store actually opened in mid-May north of Boston. So our focus right now is to just continue driving a better customer experience, learning from our customers. And we think, getting our store experience where we really want it to be. And then as we, are ready and have the validation from customers to continue opening more doors. We see a world where there are thousands of these stores in the next 10 years across the country, and we certainly want to be the market leader. But our focus for the foreseeable future is on Greater Boston, New England, and the Northeast. But we think that there's ample demand both from a supply and a customer level in the retail stores for these stores to be everywhere. So we're laser focused on getting our operations and customer experience really where we want them to be. But then we see a BinStar in really any community that you can think of because of, I think, principally your point earlier of everyone loves a deal. And we found that our ability to deliver steals instead of deals, like you can get a deal anywhere, but if you want to steal on something, you got to come to a BinStar. That resonates across age groups, demographics, income levels, sort of all the whole demographic spectrum. So we're really excited about how our customers have engaged with the product we have and know it's just going to continue getting better.
Wonderful. Really appreciate you guys coming on. Appreciate Ben. I know it's early in the morning where you are. Appreciate you coming in and joining us. Love to hear a follow-up. Wish you guys continued success with BinStar. Our guests on Radio Entrepreneurs have been Jack Laughlin, co-founder and CEO of BinStar, and Ben Weiss, co-founder and head of supply for BinStar. Guys, wishing you continued success. If people want to go to your locations or they want to learn more about BinStar, what's your website? What's the best way for them to learn more about it?
Yep, and really appreciate your time this morning. Shop BinStar, one word, is our website. You can check us out there. We've got all the info on the stores and exciting stuff we have coming down the pike.
Fantastic. You guys must be a retail landowners or store owners' dream. You guys are taking leases and taking space when everybody else is pulling out. So fantastic stuff, and wish you guys continued success.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
We'll be right back with another segment on Radio Entrepreneurs.